Good morning, this is Shelby Law with the Great Basin Fire Potential Briefing for Monday, July 24th, 2023. The fire potential impacts for the next few days are shown here. We have quite a mixed bag of different critical weather patterns here. For today, we've still got some lingering heat in southwest Idaho and down into southeast Utah. We have some strong winds across northwest Nevada and up into central Idaho mountains. We have and some winds down into southwest Utah and southeast Nevada. And we have some wetter type thunderstorms over the higher elevations of across central Utah here, and then mixed wet and dry across Nevada up into northwest Utah and into eastern Idaho. So that's just today. Tuesday, winds continue across the central Idaho mountains. Thunderstorm coverage decreasing a bit on Tuesday, but staying concentrated over the higher elevations of Utah. And then stronger, more widespread winds return for Wednesday across the central Idaho mountains, much of northwest Nevada, with decreasing thunderstorm coverage in Utah. Yesterday was a fairly active day for some isolated thunderstorms over kind of a wide area, eastern Idaho, portions of Utah, and eastern Nevada. These thunderstorms were a mix of wet and dry. Whatever precip amounts there were quite light. So definitely could possibly see some holdovers today from some of this lightning yesterday. Again, fire activity was more, we are seeing more fire activity, more initial attack fires from that lightning we've had over the past couple of days, and some pretty good fire activity on that Hayden fire up there in Idaho. Precipitation for the past 14 days is shown here with the amount on the left and the percent of normal on the right. Very dry over Idaho for the past couple of weeks. We have seen some recent storms in Utah and Nevada bring a little bit of precip, but nothing significant like we would normally expect the monsoon to bring this time of year. Fire danger values are shown here for a couple of our PSAs. North over the central Idaho mountains, we can see those values just continuing to move upward with the dry and hot conditions up there. Further south over southwest Utah, the values have decreased a bit in the past week with some of the moisture that's moved into that area, but still above normal for the time of year. The precip moving in and moisture moving in for the next couple of days should decrease these values a little bit temporarily. And then our live fuel moistures for a couple of zones here, southwest Idaho showing sagebrush live fuel moisture right at normal for the time of year. Further south, this is one of the sites, one of very few sites in the Great Basin that are showing sagebrush live fuel moistures below average for the time of year. Most of the areas have sagebrush fuel moisture right around normal, and further north, the values are even in some areas above normal for the time of year. This morning's satellite imagery shows the area of high pressure in place over the Four Corners region. That is allowing this monsoonal moisture to move up into the Great Basin. Mainly today and tomorrow are going to be our bigger days for thunderstorm development. And then we have this low off the Pacific Northwest coast that's increasing winds over western Nevada and the central Idaho mountains. So again, for today, moisture in place over the Great Basin will lead to thunderstorms this afternoon. And then we do have a high risk out over the central Idaho mountains for those winds. It will be breezy over northwest Nevada. We'll take a look at that here in a second. So for this afternoon, precipitation, this map shows the general areas we expect thunderstorms to develop this afternoon, eastern Nevada into Utah, over the higher elevations here, up into eastern Idaho, western Wyoming. So there's always a little bit of uncertainty as to exactly where the thunderstorms will develop. And then again, the winds here on the right, breezy over northwest Nevada, windy, even gusts up to 40 miles an hour in some spots. And same here over the central Idaho mountains. And then, of course, where any thunderstorms do develop this afternoon, we would expect to see very strong outflow winds with those. On Tuesday, the ridge is pushed a little bit to the south and east as that low makes its way inland. That will decrease some of the thunderstorm coverage a bit for Tuesday. We still have high risk in place over our central Idaho mountains for those strong winds. No high risk for lightning, as they will be more of a mix of wet and dry. So on Tuesday, here's our thunderstorm coverage that we're looking for. More limited to Utah on Tuesday, but on day 2 of this moisture surge, we do expect those thunderstorms, for the most part, to have a little bit of precip with them, or at least be bringing the relative humidity up a bit. Still breezy over northwest Nevada and into eastern Idaho. More of the same is expected on Wednesday with that drier southwest westerly flow moving into northern and western portions of the area. Our thunderstorms will decrease even further by Wednesday. Still breezy over the central Idaho mountains, or windy, I should say. Gusts up to Wednesday may be one of the stronger days for wind. Gusts up to 40 miles an hour or so, and it will be windy again over northwest Nevada. So again, probability of precip for Wednesday decreasing a bit and staying more limited to just Utah and southeast Idaho. And then those wind gusts back up to 35, 40 miles an hour in northwest Nevada and east central Idaho. The 3-day precip totals are shown here. So we're looking at the best chance for measurable precipitation to occur over the higher elevations of Utah, southeast Idaho, and up into western Wyoming, with a little bit elsewhere there into eastern Nevada. By Thursday, we will be into a drier pattern with most of the moisture being shunted off to the east, so we'll see our thunderstorm coverage decrease. We'll still keep some breezy winds in place up north. And that continues into Friday. By Saturday, we'll start to see a return of moisture back to the southern Great Basin. So that high pressure ridge looks to move back over the Four Corners area and really looks like we're going into a wetter pattern, or maybe a more traditional monsoon for a few days, with some higher precip amounts moving back into the southern Great Basin and mainly Utah. So by Sunday, we do start to see some better chances for rain-producing thunderstorms by next weekend. So the 7-day totals, really just highlighting what we're expecting today and tomorrow with this short-term monsoonal surge today, tomorrow, and lingering slightly into Wednesday, and then dry for the second half of the work week with a return of moisture for the weekend. The extended forecast, July 31st to August 6th, puts the heat up north this time, up into Pacific Northwest, Northern Rockies, and we do see a pretty large area of above normal or of chances for above normal precipitation over the Great Basin, with highlighting portions of Idaho actually. So we do see, as we head into the 1st of August, better chance of more widespread monsoonal moisture moving throughout the Great Basin. That concludes today's fire potential briefing. Please check back tomorrow for the latest updates.